When you go out to the wilderness, you don't have to leave your alcohol behind if you have this. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here. I just bought this. It's a high camp flask. Now, I actually got this from Orvis, I believe, and this is the gunmetal one. But what you might be able to see here is this is the Firelight flask. I think 750 milliliters, so it'll hold like a full bottle of standard whiskey or your traditional spirits. But what's interesting about this is it's not just a flask. You know, you've seen flasks, little hip flasks, those types of things. One, they don't hold that much. Second, they're a pain in the butt to clean. But thirdly, this one includes some cups. So let's unbox it. Take a look. All right, so this is what we get here. The box itself is pretty nice. It's actually a little nicer than I thought, but at this price point, I guess you should probably expect it to be decently nice. Now, you can see Nick and Whit have put a little message here, Firelight flask, and like I said, here it is. It's kind of dressed up like you're almost getting a premium bottle of whiskey or spirits or something. So you get this little carrying case here, nylon drawstring carrying case, and then here is the flask itself. Now you might be saying, well, Pete, that looks a whole lot like a thermos, not a flask. And, you know, I guess what's the definition of a flask? Does it have to look a certain way or be a certain shape? But I do like this gunmetal. It kind of looks like spun aluminum here. You know, it's got some weight to this, so this thing is not small. This is not necessarily a backpacking accessory, but what is really cool about this is that I remember those thermoses back in the day that had a cup that you unscrew at the top here, kind of like this. But you can see that we have them on both ends. There's no threading. What you just do is you pull this off. So stainless steel. It's actually kind of held in there nicely. This is not falling off. And I don't know that stainless steel is magnetic, so I feel like it's almost acting like there's magnets, but maybe it's just the suction of the cup being on there. But I don't know. Shouldn't that fall off? I feel like there's a magnet somewhere in there. There must be some hidden ferrous metal in there. So what we get here is kind of a standard size cup. I mean, this is the size of a whiskey tumbler, you know, and if you were to put a big ice cube in here or something like that, you'd get a standard size cocktail. You can see laser etched high camp flask on there. This is really nice. I like the little fluting on the side there. But then up here, and again, this isn't falling off too, so I feel like that's magnetic. Again, I don't think matters where these go, doesn't look like it, but another cup right there. So you get 2 tumblers for sharing your drink, which I think is the important part, because, you know, drinking should be decently social. I mean, I've never drunk with anyone, but you know, there's always a first for everything. Then you can see here is the flask itself, and it looks really nice. It actually kind of looks like a decanter, and I'm not even sure how this works, but if I pull this out or twist it or unscrew it, yeah, it looks like it unscrews. It's kind of coming out, but there must be an O-ring, yep, right there, because that was sealed in there pretty good. So we have this cap right here, threaded right in there, and you can see we have, I'm guessing that's 750 milliliters. It's pretty big. So now you can pour your drinks in here. What I also like about this is that you have this pretty large mouth. That's really good for when you want to just down a ton of alcohol by yourself really quickly. You just put your lips right on there and suck that bad boy down. But the other nice thing is, it makes it kind of easy to clean. So one, you can run some water in there once everything's dumped out, kind of rinse it out, or get one of those bottle cleaning brushes. It can be a pretty big one, and get it in there and clean this up. I think a lot easier than those hip flasks. So this is what you get. This looks kind of like a brushed band around here, but it's just the finish of the metal high camp flask right there, and that is really kind of nice. I am pretty excited about this. And you can see the wall here on the cup is pretty thick, and I can tell you that there's a pretty decent thick wall here on the high camp flask too. So I think if you put in some spirits here that are cold, they're probably going to stay generally pretty cold or warm or neutral. You know, I guess if you want them just kind of room temperature and you're going out somewhere where it's hot or cold, it'll kind of insulate it from adjusting to the ambient temperature too much. Laser etched on the bottom there. And so all you have to do is fill this sucker up, screw this back in, nice O-ring will make sure that nothing spills out. And then, like I said, I'm kind of thinking there must be some magnets in here somewhere, because that is being pulled in there. See? All right, awesome. Hey, if you want to pick this up because you want Grandpa's old cough medicine to go with you on your next adventure, I'll put a link to this in the description below. Peter Von Panda, out.
We can discover more and explore so much deeper. We can live better than ever thanks to Peter Von Panda.
Now when you're out in the wilderness, you don't have to leave your spirits Now when you're out in the wilderness, you don't have to leave your... Well, man, I'm having trouble.